Hi guys, and welcome back to the YouTube channel Reiki Zen, and welcome to another coffee chat. And today we have Kirstie Hines from the Reiki Rooms in Retford. Say hello.
Hi, hello to
Right.
followers.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good today, thank you. Yeah, it's been snowing here today, so that was a strange one to wake up to.
I know that was a bit of an unusual thing to wake up to this morning when we've had like a week of wonderful sunny weather, and then all of a sudden snow was forecast. We say, what? You just couldn't make it up.
No,
Really?
no, but it was a nice awakening. Yeah.
It was, yeah, especially sludging around the park with the dogs this morning, getting all wet and cold. But yeah, it was fun. Right, so we're here to talk about Reiki. We're here to talk about the Reiki Rooms where you're based in Retford. So we're gonna. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit about where you are, what you do, your business?
Yeah, I can do. So obviously, as you've said, my name is Kirstie and I run the Reiki Rooms Holistic Therapies in Retford, which is in Nottinghamshire in the UK. And yeah, I've been doing this only since August last year as a business. But I kind of had a bad time in a toxic office situation environment, and I was using my Reiki and using my tools every day going into work to combat the situation. And that was kind of during COVID, and I did my crystal healing course and we practiced on each other. So I had the crystals to help align me and help give me clarity. And I kind of woke up the next day and I was like, I'm not going back to that office. I'm gonna put my spirituality to use, and I'm gonna help other people with it. So that was where it began, really.
Oh, fabulous. Well done, you.
Yeah, thank you.
You've come so far as well for it, like to start in August last year. So August 2021 was that?
Yeah.
So
I kind of started on the public, but yeah, obviously doing it for friends and family when I was Reiki trained, but never to put myself out there to do it for people I didn't know.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And it's always a bit of a, I think that's when you start really learning, isn't it? When you start working with other people that you're totally unaware of, you don't have everyday contact with them. And as soon as you come into contact with them, you're just like, right, okay, now I'm in the proper leagues, and this is where I really start to learn.
Yeah, this is a good journey. I mean, people obviously, as you know, they come to you because they have blockages and they've got these energies that need removing. You know, they've got past traumas. And it's just amazing to watch people blossom into new versions of themselves from when I met them on day one to carry on a course of Reiki and all the other, I do other types of treatments as well. Yeah, and it's just amazing to watch people grow.
And it's amazing to see like practitioners like yourself as well grow, because for you to take basically the bull by the horn, or to just take the balls in the hand and just say, you know what, I'm gonna screw that, I'm gonna leave there and I'm gonna do this full time. I'm gonna do it because this is my passion, this is what I feel is my soul calling. And this is the thing that I've been talking about for so long on the YouTube channel, about what people need to do, and just follow their soul's voice basically, and just listen to what's going on.
Don't get me wrong, honestly, the universe literally picked me up and gave me a big kick up the bum and went, you are doing this.
Yeah.
Get going.
Absolutely. And do you think the actually becoming attuned to Reiki, if you hadn't become attuned to Reiki, do you think that would have happened?
Probably not, because I was using my spirituality to get me through my day-to-day life. And it was kind of going into the Reiki, speaking to my guides, asking for protection. Really, I was asking for protection from the toxic environment, and I was putting shields around myself daily. And if I hadn't have been in that frame of mind where I needed it so badly, it probably wouldn't have catapulted me into this life, actually. Yeah. I was just kind of bitten and bobbing and using it for my friends and family. And, you know, Reiki is beautiful. As you know, the energy is just something unlike nothing else.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did the crystal course whilst I was working in that office. But you know, when I was there, I was like, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing, you know. I'm supposed to be doing something else. But it did protect me and it did shield me. And I thought, you know what, other people need to know this as well. So let's share that knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and for people like yourself who say they've only just started doing it from August, you know, but this is kind of like, this is why I thought it would be really good for you to go onto the channel, as well as, like you say, other people that have been doing it for such a long time or whatever, or may have experience. But, you know, we can all learn from each other, regardless of the length of, say, service of what people have done within this field of spiritual work or whatever, you know, just for you to put your voice out there and to say, this is what I feel is my calling, you know. And for a lot of people, that'll just be like, whoa, they just would not take the risk. They would not want to make that call on their life. But then, like something I'd said in one of my previous videos, you know, people might get to like 60, 70-year-old and they've worked for 40, 45 years of their life or whatever, and they've achieved nothing and they've followed nothing of their inner calling, you know. But people are waking up now, aren't they? And people are seeing that there is a higher purpose to life.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about listening to your consciousness and letting that guide you a little bit and letting your intuition guide you. So, you know, when you first asked me, I was really unsure about doing the chats. Oh, I don't have that much knowledge. I'm not as, you know, I watch your videos, I watch your YouTube, so I think, oh, the people are so interesting. Maybe I'm just not interested. And then I thought, I'd like to listen to somebody from my side who is kind of new to it, you know. Exactly. How they came about it, how they got into it, and it is going really well. So, you know, it's nice to share that and let other people know that, you know, if you feel like you want to do it, give it a try, because you only get we say we only get one, we don't get one life. You know, we get this chance to live. Let's live the way you want to.
Exactly. So what brought you, obviously you were working in the office environment, you're using your spirituality, your knowledge of spiritual life to get you through day to day, the mundane tasks, the 9 to 5, whatever it may have been. But what brought you to think, you know what, I'm going to go and give Reiki a shot? What bounced out to you about Reiki?
Well, actually, one of my best friends who I met working in an office previously, actually, we met in our early 20s, and we would go and do the like development classes, like spiritual development and kind of that kind of thing. So we were really close on a spiritual connection level. We'd like talk and grow with each other that way. And she became a Reiki master. And I was like, you know what, I really love the energy, and her, you could feel the Reiki radiate off her. She only had to give you a hug and you were uplifted by that.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, I'd really love for you to attune me. So the next time she was doing a course local, because she moved away, I said, I'm going to jump on one of your courses and be attuned. And it was the best thing I did, obviously. It was amazing.
Yeah. How did you find your Reiki 1 attunement?
Yeah, I mean, at first I was like, how will I know? Like, what if it doesn't happen to me? What if?
All these questions. What if it doesn't work?
Like, well, but it was. So like, what if it doesn't work? And she was like, you'll know, it's fine. Trust the process. And it was almost by the end of the training course that I was like, feel it. And it was almost like that Spider-Man web. I was like, it's like, whoa, I can feel this. Yeah, it was amazing. But what is amazing is that how you feel your energy lift. You then realize that you are on a different energy level. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's quite hard to sort of explain in sort of three-dimensional terms to the everyday Joe Blogs or whatever about how it changes your overall feeling.
Perception.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perception of everything. But everything just kind of like levels up, and the more you go through the different attunements, the more, I mean, for me, my level 2, I mean, level 1, I became aware of my spirit guides very, very quickly. Level 2 was just like, bam, you're on your spiritual path, and it was so fast, and things just started happening really, really in quick succession. Synchronicities were just like bump, bump, bump all the time, and I was like, what is this? What does this mean? And then my clairvoyance started kicking off. Bits of clairaudience started triggering off, and the more I was using like chakra symbols on myself, aligning my chakras, and then doing healing sessions through that process as well. And it's even just like little like subtle things, really. Like before I wake up in the morning, if I get chance, I'll do an hour's Reiki on myself before I get up. Now, if I got up and didn't do that Reiki, I would probably feel like, oh crap. But when I do that Reiki, I get up and I'm just like, feel absolutely wonderful. And then that's the start of your day, isn't it?
Do you, I wake up giving myself Reiki. So obviously you don't realize because you're asleep, but I'll wake up and my hands will be in certain positions. And it's always when my hands are above my head. So I'll wake up with my hands over my head.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, and that's when it's just been radiating through in my sleep.
Yeah.
So I'll have been giving myself a Reiki session during my sleep.
Yeah.
And I'll just wake up, like you say, with this just, yes.
Yeah, exactly. You just flow. You just feel just so light, and you just flow through your day, and whatever sort of comes your way to try and sort of like, I suppose, hinder you or stop you or make you feel a little bit worse. It kind of like, yeah, you might react to it, but then just kind of like it just floats off, and then you're just back to your normal self again. So it's such a powerful force, and really does totally shift and change your way of thinking of everything.
Yeah. It's like you say about realigning. I will realign my chakras every other day, but I will notice if I forgot to do it, oh, that's why I feel a bit out of sorts, and then I check my chakras and it's an instant fix. As soon as I've put the realignment there, I'm back into, right, I'm okay.
Back into your space. Yeah. It's like me, like if I go to work, and I can usually get by for a couple of days without wearing any sort of crystals or any sort of protective crystals. But if I go for more than 2 or 3 days, then I'm just like, oh, I can really start to feel like the energy around me starting to like really sort of get into my aura, and you can feel it, and you're starting to get a little bit kind of like a bit twitchy. So that's why I like to always wear crystals at work, especially because it's quite a negative place anyway, and wear them just for that bit of protection. And then when I come back home, it's all about like the daily maintenance, the cleansing, the working on my energy, the Reiki, the meditation, all these various practices that we use day in, day out to facilitate our healing and growth.
The meditation for me is become more intense recently. I was following guided meditations, which are amazing, and I absolutely love to do that. It puts you in a good zone. But just lately I've just been allowing my self-guidance, and it's just been really massive of opening my chakras and the feelings I can feel as it's really intense.
Yeah.
So that's part of my new part of my journey, that I'm realizing that actually you are becoming more in tune, I feel.
Yeah.
That you said during your level 2 Reiki, you were starting to see more and feel. I feel like that as well over the last few weeks, even though the level 2 Reiki was in 2020. I think because I'm working with it more, meditating more, just being more in the zone.
Yeah.
I am seeing when I'm working with clients, I'm getting visions through. I'm getting visions of what my clients are getting visions of as well. So I'm being shown some of their visions, which when somebody told me that had happened to them in a Reiki session, I was like, that's not right. They shouldn't see what you're seeing, because I wasn't aware, I was there. and now I'm like, oh, I was really wrong there. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
But this is a massive learning curve for me as well. Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
everyday learning.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is as well, everyone develops differently. It's unique to everybody, to everybody's soul, to everybody's journey, wherever they may be. It's absolutely unique, and it's beautiful for every different scenario and every different person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same as a Reiki session, isn't it? I'll always say to my clients, if your friend came, you're not going to have the same kind of journey that they've had, because you're your own person and you're coming in with your own soul purpose.
Yeah.
So it might be about the physical feeling of Reiki and the energy moving around your body, or you could see more. You could just be like a vision playing out over in your mind. But it's a completely unique journey for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for us as practitioners as well, totally unique journey for us in the way that we develop and learn. But yeah,
I mean,
always,
I'm the same. I mean, I'm learning with it from every session. Every session that I do is just like it's a brand new session. It's like every session is different, even if it's the same person. However many times they may have had a session with me, each session is unique to them and to me as well. For them.
Yeah. And that's it. Every time they walk through the door, they come as a new version of themselves. They're coming in with a new purpose and a new want for the healing. It's amazing. And I think you touched on past lives recently as well. So we're healing past life traumas that we actually can't control in this life, but there's things that we're bringing forward that in Reiki we can send healing to those as well. So yeah, things that we don't even realize have happened.
That's it. And the ability that we can like send healing to our own past lives or to past events, to try and move away that trauma that may have happened in that person's life, but also to send healing to future events that may be coming up, like interviews or anything that might get people worked up or anxious. Then you can send healing to those causes as well, to help them just be a little bit more, I suppose, calmer in that environment and in that situation. It really helps. It's such a beautiful modality of healing.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I have clients that come to me because they're starting a new job, where they're moving house. They want to be aligned with their new journey that they're going into. So yeah, I've had a few that have come because they're starting new jobs and they want to put that healing forward, ready for that situation.
Oh, it's beautiful. That's wonderful that people like do that, because I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of people, especially up here, up in the north of England, that they're a little bit kind of like closed-minded to the concept, I think, of how versatile Reiki can be. But I know, especially down south, especially through like what the UK Reiki Federation and people like that talk about, they say that it's booming and it's a great business down south. And well, yeah, it is. But up north, it's still it's very new and it's very unknown, and it's a bit like a bit.
Yeah, I think Northerners are a bit broader, aren't they? They're a bit more like, oh, that's a load of rubbish.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like in the middle zone because I'm like Nottinghamshire, so we are north and past the South Yorkshire, Doncaster, and I was very much like that when I said, right, I'm going to start my Reiki business. It was like, how's that going to be received? I live in a really quite a small town actually as well. So how's that going to be received? How will people need that in a place like where I live? But it has been received amazing. I'm extremely lucky. I'm very blessed that the universe is helping me, sending me clients from far and wide. And it's all about recommendation, you know. Somebody will have a really good experience and they'll want to share that with their loved ones or their friends. And they'll be like, yeah, you're going through a tough time. Maybe you should try Reiki. And that's how the majority of my clients have come through the door, because it's recommendation based, which is amazing. So blessed.
A lot of mine sort of repeat clients have all been kind of like recommendations, or people that have started and then given the recommendation to somebody else and that they've come along as well. But I know recently there's been quite a surge recently in my client work, where last week I was fully booked. This week pretty much fully booked. Next week I've already got bookings coming in for next week, and it's almost like the floodgates are just starting to open and people are starting to come into it, and block bookings and things like that are starting to come in, and I'm just like, wow, this is like really, really good. This is the moment, this is the path that needs to for me to then, you know, make another step further forward on this journey. So did you, I'm guessing
you'll know when it's time, because it will just be okay, you need to do this, because it just all comes to a head and then you're like, oh, I've got to release something else, I've got to give more time to the Reiki.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a little bit like what I was talking about in one of my previous videos about manifestation, and it's about energy, and everything is energy. And if you give all your energy and time to one thing, nothing else will come in. But as soon as you start focusing your time and your energy on something different, that one will start falling away, and the new energies will start coming in to what is truly meant for you. So yeah, it's a really...
I'm a huge believer in manifestation, the law of attraction, the universal energy. You know, never put out negative vibes to the universe, because, you know, we only want to attract the positive, and I'm such a big believer in that. I instill that into all my clients. You know, they all go away with this huge knowledge of manifestation and positivity. Yeah, you just got to give it all out there.
Beautiful. So did you learn, I'm guessing you learned Reiki first and then you started learning your other modalities of like crystals and sound and what have you?
Yeah, I did. So I started off obviously with the Reiki, and that was great. And then I learned the crystals. I did a crystal healing course whilst I was working in the office, and that gave me the epiphany. It just, obviously I just got a massive blockage, and the blockage was you don't have I just had no faith in myself to put myself out there. I was just so scared of what other people would think, I think, as well, which again, it's like doing the video. I was still a bit like, oh, but then I've got to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did the crystals. I did the sound healing, which is not only the singing bowls, but it's about drumming. It's about using your voice to do chanting as well, which is something, again, I'm just getting used to. Like I've got it in me to do it, but it's doing it in front of clients. It's a bit like, you can do it. I did it the other evening. I had a client in and I thought, oh, she's fast asleep. I'm going to do a bit of chanting. So I just let out some nice sounds that came flowing. And at the end of the session, she said, oh, that was beautiful when you did the sounds. And I was, oh, I thought you was asleep. I probably wouldn't have done it had I known she was awake. But she absolutely loved it. She was like, oh, do it again, in the next session. I really enjoyed it. So I just need to find the confidence in my voice to do those things as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did a recent crystal course as well. I did another course recently. So that carries some powerful crystals. So yeah, I just love adding extra bits on to just go with the healing.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll go off of the track of healing. I always want to stay down there, adding things that can actually just better the healing experience and magnify that. So I'm quite interested in angels and angel healing, so that might be something that I might look down that path.
Yeah.
Mm.
Quite recently, well, I suppose over the last 6 months, I've been working a bit with angelic energy and bringing angelic energy into my sessions. And to be honest with you, I didn't think it would affect the sessions that much, but they really does make it a whole lot more powerful. And it's also even helped my, I suppose, my visualizations or my connection to the client as well, bringing in that angelic energy, because I've got the protection from Michael and healing energies from Raphael. So they're working alongside me as well, and I can feel them around me. It really is. It's unusual, but it's beautiful as well. And you kind of get used to it.
Yeah, so I do call in the angels when I'm doing the healing. So have you been on a specific angel healing course, or are you just doing that self-taught? Because that's my thing. I'm like, well, I'm already doing that. So do I need to go on a course to kind of learn about this in depth, or do I just go with my intuition of what I'm already doing? Because everything that you've just said, I'm resonating with. Actually, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing that already. So
yeah, I mean, I'm a bit of one of those believers of, for me, everything that I've done, obviously minus the Reiki that I've obviously attuned and taught the processes of Reiki, everything that I work with, the crystals, the angelic beings, the sound, it's all been kind of intuitively, like I've just felt guided to do it. And I've just gone down them various pathways and used it and incorporated it within either my life or within healing sessions. And it's something for me, working with crystals. I don't think I would resonate as well with a crystal if someone said, right, this crystal's for such and such and it'll work on this level. For me, I wanted to actually feel the crystal, and I wanted to sit with it, and I want to visualize and see what it gives me. But even whatever it gives me will give something totally different to the next person. Again, it's the same with Reiki. The energy that I feel from Reiki and from crystals is totally individual to each person. And you have like a kind of a broad, specific understanding of what that crystal will do for someone. But individualistically, the energy that it will give them will be different to you, because you require different healing to the next person. So it's quite vast, and it's a bit of an endless topic. Yeah, it's I just love the experience and feeling it and learning it and understanding it in my own way, in my own context. And for me, I think that's helped me develop much further in myself, and with all my various, like the clairvoyance, the clairaudience, the clairsentience, all the different clairs that have just been kind of like pinging off. And since doing the Reiki Master Teacher course, I mean, everything sort of like went really quiet for about 4 or 5 months. I'm just like, wow, everything just like, I don't feel anything. I don't like sense anything. It's gone like really quiet. And then this sort of like last month, it's just like, boom. It's just like, oh, okay, we're kicking back up again now, are we? Like, so everything's just like starting to fire back up again now. But again, that's because the Reiki was having to get me ready to experience this energy and to upgrade me a little bit further. And it can take a long time. It depends on what healing needs to go on with you, within you, even though we do like maybe our 21-day cleanse or whatever. But it can go on for much longer after that, depending on what needs to be resolved to allow this energy to flow easier within you.
Oh wow! So that was going to be another question that I would ask you, because I have got up to my level 2. Obviously, it's very strong. It's doing great, but on a personal level, I don't really have an interest to teach Reiki as yet. But would I need to go to that next level to do my? next level of being taught. I already feel quite empowered by the Reiki that I have, if that makes sense.
I was actually asked recently by somebody the same question. So you're the second person that's asked me that, and they'd said, I'm Reiki 2 now. I don't really want to teach or anything in the future. Is there any point in me doing the Reiki master level? I said, well, if you don't want to teach, I would say no. As a Reiki 2 practitioner, I would class them as a Reiki master already, because they're already channeling and they're already giving the healing as a practitioner. The only difference with when you become attuned to master or master teacher, depending on how your Reiki master teaches it, you'll get attuned to the master symbol, which just kind of like ramps up the energy a little bit. But other than that, I would, if you're quite happy with your level 2, just stay with level 2, you know, and then in the future, you might feel drawn to go down the line of, right.
I'll wait for the universe to give me that little message, and then when I know I know.
1, 2, 3, it may be 10 years, you know, it depends on, if you're happy where you are at the minute, I would just stick with that. And when you feel like inside that you're ready and you want to start attuning people and spreading this energy to other people around near you or whatever, then go with it and go with that calling, like you've done with everything else so far within yourself.
I think it's a confidence thing as well. I think, oh, if I've got to teach, that I've got to do, you know, publicly speaking.
Yeah, but no, I mean, don't ever doubt your ability. I mean, for what you've done so far and for where you've come from, for so fast, and to have your own room and you're taking on clients and you're spreading the gift of Reiki, and you're spreading all this wonderful energy out there to so many people, and they're all absolutely loving it and coming back for more. So that's the best gift Reiki can give, really, and it's the best kind of pat on the back, I suppose, is, you know, these people keep coming back to you for a reason.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just so honored. I'm blessed.
Yeah, it is absolutely beautiful therapy.
Yeah, it is good therapy for us to see their journey grow. Like, that gives me so much joy. I am absolutely buzzing at the end of some days, and I've seen somebody knowing, you know, where they started and where they are now. I go home like, so yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's testament for yourself as well, you know, how far you've come with them on their journey. So even though they're healing and they're developing and they're learning and coming into their own and finding their inner flame, but you know, you're doing exactly the same thing, you know. So yeah,
I'm growing with them.
Yeah, exactly. We all do. We all are.
Yeah.
Very much so.
So one of my clients, who she'd been about 3 or 4 times, and she said, I never get a vision, you know, I always feel it in my body, I don't see anything. And she got off the couch and, I saw so much, it was amazing. But during her vision, I got the most visions I'd ever had. So I was quickly writing down everything that I kept seeing during the session. So she had this new experience, but I had this new experience, but we had it together. So when I shared that with her, I was like, you know, for me to see this much, and it was really special for both of us. So yeah, it's nice that we both grew at the same time.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's them little unique sort of moments that happen that make you realize, wow, this is something else. This is just like
into place.
Yeah, and it because sometimes you'll have sessions where nothing will happen, and you get a bit kind of like, I suppose, oh well, I was expecting this and I was expecting that. But I think when you start thinking too much about it, that's when very little happens. You have to just kind of like just let it happen and just understand that it is going to work. It is working. Just let it flow, and then that's when you start to receive a lot more stuff. You start to experience more and feel more.
Yeah, it's the magic.
Perception anyway. I say that's from my perception anyway, but I mean,
I do agree. I do agree. I'll release some energy. I'll use my dowser to maybe a pendulum to remove some energy in the meridians, and say it will be going crazy, like releasing all of this energy. And I'll know that previous clients that have had it in that spot might go, oh, I felt this whooshing, and it's all leaving, it was this, it was that. And then so the person, when I finish that on the next session, oh, did you feel it? No. I think, oh, that other person felt so much from that kind of but yeah, not everybody's the same, and we just got to appreciate, well, I know it released, I know it was a huge, even if you didn't feel like a huge thing yourself, it was there.
Yeah. And sometimes as well, because of that release, for them it can take weeks, for them to realize oh, actually I don't feel that anymore, or I don't react to that anymore, or I don't get over emotional to that anymore, because this, whatever it was, is being released. But it can take a long time for you to physically and consciously understand what's going on. And that's, I think that's the flick of the switch, and the perception of what people need to realize about this. It's not all kind of, it's not just shown in front of your face where it will just happen.
Yeah, no, that's so interesting talking to you and getting that perception as well, actually, because I will say to the clients, just look out for the subtle changes. It's subtle changes, and then all of a sudden it'll be like, oh, that I feel good.
Yeah.
But it might be in a couple of weeks where all of these things start magnetizing and changing. And yeah, good to hear it from your point of view as well, and said in a different way. I like that. Yeah.
So how have you used Reiki and all these things for yourself as well, for your own healing journey? How have they helped you?
Oh gosh, they've helped me massively. We've all got traumas and past traumas. I have quite a lot of emotional trauma through family, and it's just really helped me heal from that and become in a better place. Not really carry that emotion with me and let it bother me on a day-to-day basis. I can sit it in a place and it's there, but it doesn't, I'm healing from it. It's really helped me release some of that so that I don't have to carry on hurting.
Yeah, that's beautiful, because it can be quite hard to understand, and how to put the concept to people of ways that it's helped, and a lot of people consciously think about it and think, well, yeah, it's helped you because you're into all that and what have you, but it's not going to do anything for me, so I won't bother trying it. But it's like, again, it's that flipping that switch of perception and just saying, just give it a go, try it. It might work, it might not. All we can do is do what we can and do our best, but then give it time. I think a lot of people expect an instant fix, like with a lot of medication or whatever. It's kind of like, oh, take this and it'll happen, or it'll cover it up or whatever. Whereas this, some things can get a lot worse before they actually get better, because it's the unfolding, it's the unpeeling of the onion and whatever, and exposing it and discovering what the root is, or the emotion or the trauma, and then releasing it and just saying, right, I see you, I know what you are, you don't bother me anymore in life.
That's it. Yeah, it's about acknowledging it. It's there, it's happened, but you don't have to let that trauma control you.
Yeah.
You can step aside from that and live your life.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you say was kind of the turning point with your therapies that you've used? Was it the Reiki, being attuned to the Reiki, that did the most, I suppose, change, or was it just having Reiki sessions before you were attuned?
No, it was becoming attuned. I didn't have that many sessions of Reiki that I resonated with, and I had gone for Reiki, but you really need to find somebody that you connect with. And before I was attuned, except for my friend, was the only person I really felt that energy of Reiki from.
Yeah.
So it was me being attuned that actually did it.
Yeah.
It was me being attuned and actually giving myself the self-healing.
Yeah.
And even now, there's only a couple of people that I've had give me Reiki where I will feel that intense Reiki. I suppose I watch people at the end of my sessions. I'm like, I want that feeling. I want. And obviously, we can give it to ourselves, but it is not the same as going and having the session yourself and actually laying there and letting somebody else pick out the pieces. I'd like to have a go at the session that you had the other week with the lady who did the soul, the past life, and I'm going to get in contact with her for sure.
Yeah.
That sounded mind-blowing. I'd like that.
Definitely worth. I've just been talking to her this morning, actually, because she wanted me to do a sort of like a quick testimonial for her channel as well, for her business. And then I gave her a Reiki session afterwards as kind of like so we did like an energy share. So she's had Reiki off me this morning. And then before that, we did like a quick testimonial thing for herself, for her business. But yeah, I mean, she asked me, like, would you do it again, or would you recommend it? And I said, yeah. I said, if anyone's got a calling to do anything like that, do it. Because again, it's the message coming from within to say, do it. You need to try it.
I have had past life regression before, so I did understand the past life regression and how that was, but I feel like she did it on a much more deeper and spiritual level, the way it was described through your video.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really interested in that.
Yeah, it was quite wild. It was wacky.
I feel an energy exchange coming on between us as well, Ian. It's got to happen.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it. You know, if I can do an exchange of service for my Reiki, then I will always do an exchange for, you know, I have had an exchange this morning. I had a acupuncture session.
All right.
That was in exchange. So the lady, she'd had a Reiki session. So today I've had, and she did my meridians. It was all about energy. It wasn't about it was all about emotions and energy releases and things like that. So for me, her explaining her side of the Chinese medicine and the acupuncture to do the meridians was fascinating.
Yeah. Acupuncture is amazing. It's really powerful.
Yeah. So any energy swaps or any swaps is amazing. Yeah, if you can do that, it's the best.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, Karen will probably watch this, but I will let her know as well, because I know there has been a few people that have got in touch that have shown interest in it, but some of them have been a bit like, oh, but I'm a bit scared about what might happen and what have you. And I said to Karen, I said, you know, that's what will pull a lot of people back, is like the fear. But you got to just, if you're going to do it, you got to just trust in yourself and your higher self, and trust in the protection, because I felt very protected the whole session. I felt very safe, and it really was beautiful. Yeah, really.
Yeah, that came across actually, and that came across that you felt really safe, and I thought, do you know what? I think that is something I could put myself in that position. I could allow myself to. It's a vulnerability to allow your soul to be depicted like that, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, some of the unusual stuff to come through the way it did, I was just like, wow, okay, what? and then I just like, again, like a few days later, it started like putting things into place, and I'm thinking, oh well, that must mean that, and that must mean that, and all these little like messages were coming through, and I was just like, now I understand what that was about, and I understand what that was about, and it's all like put like a jigsaw. It's all fitting together, and it's all starting to make sense. I'm just like, right, okay, now I know.
Because you had an attachment removed as well, didn't you? That was a big thing.
3 things removed. Yeah, we just talked about that this morning. There was like a band thing that was around my ribs. There was like a jellyfish sort of thing that was on my throat chakra, and then there was an energy on my head, which was somebody that was attached to me from when I built the pyramids with him, with whoever he was, someone called Arcturus, and in an accident, this slab fell on him and crushed him, and his soul just sort of like latched straight onto me because he saw my warmth and light or whatever, and just was there with me because we were connected in that life. So like to experience in that, and then have them like kind of like released and see. I mean, I felt like Kuan Yin, like at my head. I felt Archangel Raphael. I felt his hands on my body and like doing various bits of healing work. So Archangel Michael, like in front of me, and he was like doing all this sort of work and removing things and putting it into the light. And I was just like, wow, this is like insane, but it was absolutely beautiful.
It's absolutely fascinating, and I'm glad that you went through that so I could hear about it.
So I can be the pig.
Thanks for trying that first.
Let him do that first, then I might have a go.
But no, it was amazing. It was fascinating. But again, it's about sharing your experiences. It's about letting everybody know about that, and it's about saying it's okay that, you know, same with what we're doing. So I will definitely get in touch with her. I have been told that I've had attachments on me, but I think it's I don't know whether they've attached to me during sessions. So I need to, which I have done, ramp up my protection, really ramp up everything that I can do to protect myself, my room, my space, my energy.
Yeah.
Again, learning. It was all about a learning curve. You know, I needed to go through that to learn this.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why I started doing some of the back to basics videos on the channel as well, you know, just to sort of like refresh people's memory of like little practices that we can use and what we can do just to, you know, work on our energy, work on the energy around us, ramp it up a bit, build up your protection, understand your boundaries, and putting a bubble of light around you. So important, really important.
Yeah, and watching your back to basics videos were a good learning curve for me as well. There's stuff that I knew, but then probably wasn't putting into practice all the time, and just letting things slide. So no, I think actually, come to think of it, doing all of this extra protection is all come in line with the more things that I'm seeing visually as well.
Yeah, you will find, like, because you're because you're calling in sort of like angelic protection and guide protection, which is what, like I was saying before about like my Reiki sessions, since calling in sort of angelic protection, I'm starting to experience and feel and see a lot more than what I did before.
I feel this.
It's all to do with this channeling and downloading of this light and this information that comes through. And it's just having that I suppose that understanding and that boundary in place, and you know, and just saying, you know, and if there is anybody around that, you know, that wants to help with the session, you know, and if they trust them, so if your spirit guides and angelic beings trust them, then you can allow them to do so. But you know, it's only for that person's highest will and good. And as soon as you put them laws and grounds in place, then nothing of any negativity will come in. It's only about love and light and healing and working on that person's highest intentions.
This makes so much sense. Yeah, that makes so much sense now. Yeah, thank you. I not only calling in the higher dimensions, but I do feel like I have some kind of galactic alliance as well.
It will, yeah, absolutely.
One of my guides is definitely universal energy. He's not earth energy. He's really powerful and special. He showed himself to my Reiki master friend actually on a session when we were doing an energy session, and he checked her out to make sure she said he really looked me up and down to make sure, are we okay with this?
Yeah.
So he's really strong. I know he's really got my back.
Yeah, you definitely will be. Probably Arcturian energy with you.
Okay.
Just from your eyes and like the shape of your face and your eyes, very much Arcturian sort of energy, and they're a really, really lovely healing species. So yeah, and there's a lot of people on Earth. Well, most people on Earth aren't of Earth anyway. We're all of a galactic origin. But yeah, so it's just as well, you know, coming into that line of understanding, because when I had my first Akashic reading done, like she asked me like, oh, have you got an open mind? I was like, yeah. I'm like, started my Reiki journey. I dabbled with crystals. I was like, yeah, I've got an open mind. Boom. Just like, what? What are you on about? It's like, so it was like that just like kind of just blew the top off everything. I was just like, okay, I haven't got an open mind. I know nothing. And every time it's kind of like the universe gives you a kick just to make you think. As soon as you start thinking you know everything, it makes you realize you absolutely know nothing. Yeah. And then you start learning everything again. You're just like, oh, okay.
What we think we know is very minute. We just get given things constantly, don't we? It's always a constant growth. But talking about sharing that with your clients, you can't. Reiki is beautiful energy, but we can only some people. We just need to it's energy, and that's all they need to know. I could never imagine trying to share. I have a galactic.
No.
Like so yeah, it's lovely to speak to like-minded people and to really people that understand the journey is very vast.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lovely way to chat to you today, to go through that. I love that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm exactly the same. It's lovely chatting to people that understand that there is so much more to life than just this, like here and now, and this, this meat suit and of where we are. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I'm saying that all the time. This is just our meat body that we're just carrying around, this beautiful soul within. Do you need to ask any more questions? Have you got like a list of questions? Or are we just going like,
well, I've got things here, but we're just kind of like going organically into different topics, which is fine as well, because it shows that there's a nice flow. But I just did a video, I think it was yesterday, about sound and color. And I understand that you've started you use sound and color therapy within your sessions as well.
I don't use color as yet. I'm very interested in how color can come into the healing. Color is obviously huge, because while you're doing sound and while you're within your Reiki sessions, people see color vividly.
Yeah,
I see color vividly while I'm doing the sessions as well. So I know color has a huge part in it all. So I'm interested to learn more about how color therapy can be incorporated into the healing journey. But sounds amazing, using the singing bowls to draw out energy and to draw out blockages. Really, if I'm checking the chakra and I can feel that it's I've got a lot of heavy energy in there, then I'll use a particular bowl, because I use chakra bowls, and I'll use them to really get in deep, to draw out the stagnant energies and really get clearing blockages. So that's what I use the sound for.
Yeah. Do you use like the crystal singing bowls or Tibetan ones?
The Tibetan ones, crystal ones are beautiful. They're very fragile.
Yeah.
So I think they're very expensive. So if I were to break one, I would be fragile.
Yeah, I'd be mortified.
Yeah, I think I may get one crystal bowl eventually.
I'm playing with the idea eventually of getting one as well.
Yeah.
In the future, when I've saved up a bit.
Yeah, they're very expensive, but again, I believe that the universe will manifest a singing bowl of crystal.
Yeah, when we need it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So for now, they're just color coded chakra bowls that I have. Very interesting as well. They have to connect with you. You've got to connect your energy with them, and if you want to sing them with the wrong intention or the wrong purpose, and from ego, they won't work. They just won't sing.
Yeah.
So I spent a good couple of days really connecting with them before I even tried to sing them. I ran Reiki through them, and I just held them. And still, the crown bowl is very temperamental with me. It will either sing or it won't.
Yeah.
But for my daughter, she picked it up and said, why don't it, you know, can I have a go? Sings beautifully for her. So
The innocence
so
of youth.
it has no expectation, you know, there's no ego behind it at all.
No.
She just wanted it to sing because she wanted to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I suppose I wanted it to sing because I had a bit of the ego there that I want you to sing for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, still very temperamental with me, hit or miss.
How do you feel it helps? Because I know, like, I've described singing bowls where I've used them in sort of rooms or around myself to raise the vibration of myself or raise the vibration of the room. Have you used it with a similar intention?
Yeah, so I use the singing bowls to cleanse my room now as well. So before I would be using smudge sticks or incense around the room, but I'm actually now using I'll just be drawn to a particular bowl after a client, and I'll just go and use the bowl and the energy of the vibration to cleanse the energy in the room. So I'm finding that's like been a thing that I'm drawn to use them for as well, to cleanse energy.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, sound. Someone did ask me who follows my YouTube channel, and she said, "Can you do a video on sound therapy and color therapy?" So I kind of like put my thoughts and views out there about it. But sound therapy is just absolutely, it's something else. It really is so powerful. It's been used for like thousands of years, and it's only really something that is coming back into the collective consciousness of people knowing that, wow, I feel really good after that, or you know, that there's something shifts or something changes within in that person, and they suddenly start feeling a connection with it and know that it's doing something good for them.
Yeah. So I have like a little story if we've got time about a
Oh yeah, I love us.
I can be going on forever. So when I obviously did the sound healing course and learned all about it and things like that, and I went into my local kind of witchy shop, you know, where they sell the smudge sticks and all of that, and he had started selling singing bowls. So as I was chatting to the guy, I was like, oh, a singing bowl, you know, and started singing the bowl. And a guy who was in another part of the shop doesn't really believe in all this kind of stuff, and he kind of went, what are you doing, what's happening? As soon as you touch that bowl, my heart feels like it's pounding out my chest. And I was like, don't worry, you know, it's probably some stagnant energy, you know, you may have some trauma in there that we need to release. It's just, that's all it's doing. I knew it. As I left the shop, put it down, I was like, you're okay, you know. And as I left the shop, I said, you know, the guy who runs the shop's got a card of mine. I am qualified in this kind of stuff. Don't worry about it. If you want to talk more, let me know. Within 2 hours, he rang me. He basically came for a session. Again, like, totally don't believe in any of this stuff, but something happened, so I need to find out what happened. And during the session, he visualized a lime green color being suctioned out of his heart chakra into a green bowl. So my bowl is green. He didn't know that. And he felt the energy literally being moved, suctioned away in a lime green vision. Wow. And being into the bowl. So yeah, he had a lot of energy to be released and to let go of. So the bowls really do draw it out so powerfully.
Oh yeah. Wow.
He now believes.
That's kind of like, I mean, I do love a skeptic. I do love someone that's a bit like, I don't believe in any of that stuff. And then they go through the process and they're just like, wow, that's just like,
I mean, he openly said on the phone call, I've got a scientific mind. So what you did with that bowl, and he said as soon as you hit it, you hadn't even started ringing it. As soon as you hit it, it went boom.
Yeah.
So he's like, I needed to find out more because I'm such a science mind. So he even walked in like, I don't really know what I'm doing here, but I need to find out more. So yeah, it was very mind-blowing for him, bless him.
And I wonder if the universe put him in there for that reason, to discover you.
I can't even describe to Ian that I shouldn't have been going into that shop. I was driving past and something just went, go in. There was a space, the car park. I was going straight home. It went, go in. So I went in and he shouldn't have been in there. He said I was supposed to go straight home to help my girlfriend go shopping, but they have like lots of gamey things in there for gaming at the front of the shop. And he was like, I just thought as something when I drove past told me to go in to have a look at this thing. So we both were just drawn into the shop at that moment. Neither of us, that was not our destination. We were both taken there.
It just shows how powerful the universe is.
Yeah. And actually, another part of having the downloads, I was woken up at 4 a.m. the morning he was coming to me with lots of information coming through from a female energy. And I now know it was all for him.
Ah, right.
Just amazing.
Well, that really is amazing.
Yeah. So this is mind-blowing.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the life of someone that works on this path, you know, that these things happen. And like to everyday Joe blogs, you can't explain it. It's just these things just happen. And we just know that they happen for a reason. We have to be in that place at that time for that moment, because you're going to bump into somebody who needs help with that. Or you've thought of someone that day. This is something that always happens to me. I'll think of someone I haven't seen for ages. And then that next day I'll bump into them in the street. And you're just like, they don't even live in the same town. And like, I bump into them. You're just like, what are the chances of that? You know, it's just weird. And then, but it's just like all these little synchronicities of things just connecting and people being put in the right places at the right time for their calling.
If the universe wants it to happen, it will happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. That is wonderful. Absolutely beautiful message. What else have I got written down? I'm trying to go off my notes, but we're just going. It's just been wonderful. It really is. It's not a knock on the conversation at all, because I've absolutely loved every minute of it. And then
I have.
You know, for someone that was nervous to start with, you've done really well.
I think I forgot that you were actually filming this for YouTube. Just chatting to a friend. So
yeah, exactly. That's all it's about. And then, you know, we're going to find lots more friends who will watch this video and think, oh, hang on a minute. Might make them think a little bit differently about everything.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's like you did the video about the past life and the spiritual cleanse. You know, people, myself, saw that and was like, oh, you know, that's something I really want to be involved in and have a go at. So yeah, hopefully somebody will hear this, watch this and think, oh, there's something in that I might want to get involved with.
Absolutely.
Or try the steps, you know, like I think my thing of doing the video was somebody who was in my position previously who wanted to do it but was scared to do it. I just wanted them to see it and go, yeah, I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to get out of it.
Yeah. And I think everyone that goes onto this journey, even if it's just going for Reiki sessions, or whether you're wanting to learn Reiki and become attuned to Reiki, what you discover is everything kind of happens for a reason, and you will find those people in life when you need them for you. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it might be in 5 years' time, but you will find them when you need them for you, because you then are becoming receptive and open to the messages of the universe. And yeah, it really is wonderful that we're able to connect in that way as well. Do you have a website or anything that people can go to?
I don't have a website. I've got a Facebook page and an Instagram page, so I can share the links for both those pages. A website's something I need to do. It's too technical for me to.
It took me a while to get around to doing a website, and I've only just this year I've changed over onto my domain provider, which is GoDaddy. But last year I used Wix, and then it was quite cheap the first year. And then the second year it was over double the amount to do another year, and I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that again. So changed to my domain provider. It was a lot cheaper. Yeah, so that's been.
Do you get a lot of people come through to you via your website?
I do get a few. I don't get a lot, but I get a few. Yeah.
Social media is such a big thing, isn't it, at the moment? And that's what people are just drawn to. So I think if I can just put myself on social media and just have, you know, daily posts, hopefully someone will think, oh, I'll have a go at that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it can be hard work, and it can be tiring, because you're doing it every day, and you're putting a post out there every day, and you have to be mindful to keep your audience engaged and what have you. But
Yeah.
like you say, social media and going on the socials is a lot more in the forefront of people's mind now than going to look for a website. Unless the website is kind of linked through socials, then the people will be like, oh, well, actually, I'll go and check the website out. But if everything's in the right place, in the right context on your socials, then they don't really need to go much further, and they can just contact you through them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I do a lot of distant healing sessions as well, like you do. So people don't even have to be local, or it really started more with some of my regulars when they lived quite a bit far away from me, about a 40-minute or so drive. And I was like, it's really dark winter nights, it's cold. You don't have to make that drive. I can do the energy. The energy doesn't care if you're laid on your own bed or my couch here. You're still going to enjoy the session just as much.
Yeah.
And the trust in that grew, and then more people do it. So,
and I think
I have a lot of family in Australia, so when I was doing my distant, like testing it out, I wasn't doing it short. It was like Australia was the only place I was sending energy to. So I just use that as an example to people. I'm like, look, if I can give treatments to people in Australia, then you're fine.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, like this, I was going to say there, since COVID, I think a lot of people have gone that way. I know my Reiki master now just does distant healing because of COVID. So to be fair,
Wow.
around here, there's very few people that sort of like switched on to the concept of Reiki. Whereas with distance Reiki, you've got the world.
Yeah,
So,
that is true.
Yeah.
You do miss a bit of that personal connection, though. I do feel like I enjoy the distance sessions, and I will do it over video, and we'll still have a good chat, and I'll still get a good sense of my client, but it's not quite the same. I do like to give my client a hug.
Yeah, it is nice. That's something I was going to ask. Do you get like a different feeling between a contact session and a distance session? Do you get more of an empathic feel or anything with the people, say in person or distant?
No, it's the same energy. I don't get a different feeling.
Just the same.
Only just that personal connection. Yeah, it's just the personal connection that's missing. But the sessions can be just as powerful.
Yeah. I know.
I did. I don't know if it was this Monday. I did a treatment swap with my Reiki master, like she's my friend, and it was amazing.
Yeah. I do enjoy a good Reiki swap or an energy share with different people around the world. You have to do one sometime.
Absolutely, I'm totally up for that. We'll book that in.
Yeah, we'll book something in off camera.
Yeah, but then you could do a little review and video about it. We can have a chat about it after. I don't, unless it's not too personal.
Yeah.
Then share the experience is always a good, exciting thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds good. Right, well, we've talked for over an hour, believe it or not.
I don't believe that. That's great. I haven't got my watch and I took it off for a treatment.
We've done really, really well. We came and we conquered. We've talked Reiki, we've talked journeys, we've talked the start of Reiki and going through the different levels and what have you. So it's been really, really good. It's been a great eye opener as well, like you say, from yourself, for anyone that might want to learn this art as well and move into this level of progression within their journey to get to grips with it and understand it. So yeah, it was great having you on board to do a video. So thank you very much for that.
No, thank you. I really enjoyed talking to a like-minded person, and I know there's no judgment there or anything like that, and it's just really nice to be completely open. So I've enjoyed doing that. Thank you for listening to me.
Well, I shall let you go anyway, but enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes, me too.
we'll connect and sort out an energy share sometime.
Absolutely. I look forward to that.
Lovely. Okie dokie. You take care.
Enjoy your afternoon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye for now. Bye.